Caesar. Caesar was a Roman senator, military general, and widely popular leader of the Roman Republic who was killed because of envy and fear of corruption if he became king. Mark Antony. Antony is a very good friend of Caesar's who pretends to befriend Caesar's murderers after his death so that no harm would come to him and he could avenge Caesar. The soothsayer. He had previously warned Caesar to beware the Ides of March but was ignored and called a dreamer. Artemidorus. He can see the future and sees that Caesar is in danger. Artemidorus writes a letter to Caesar warning him of the conspirators and tries giving it to him as Caesar makes his way to the Senate house. The conspirators. Brutus. He was the last to join the conspiracy against Caesar because he loves him as a friend, but he was manipulated into thinking that Caesar was becoming too powerful and had to be killed for the sake of Rome. Brutus was also the last of the conspirators to stab Caesar. Cassius. Cassius tricked Brutus into thinking that Caesar was becoming too powerful so that he would join the conspiracy to kill Caesar. Decius. When Caesar's wife, Calpurnia, had a dream of bad fortune for Caesar, Decius convinced Caesar that the dream was misinterpreted. Decius then takes Caesar to the Senate house where the conspirators make a plan to kill him. Casca, the first of the conspirators to stab Caesar with his sword. Metellus Cimber. He kneels before Caesar and asks for his brother, Publius Cimber, to be unbanished. Trebonius. He guides Mark Antony away from Caesar to make him more vulnerable when the time came for the conspirators to kill him, but didn't actually take part in the killing. Caius Ligarius, one of the conspirators who stabbed Caesar. Cinna. Right after Caesar dies, he yells, "Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead."
Caesar makes his way to the Senate house surrounded by the conspirators. When he arrives, he stops in front of the soothsayer, and the soothsayer tells him that the Ides of March have arrived. Artemidorus tries to give Caesar his letter that warns him about the conspirators. Caesar dismisses his letter.
What is important to us personally shall be dealt with last.
As he pushes the letter aside. Caesar sits in his high Senate chair and asks the conspirators why they are there.
Are we all ready? What is now wrong that Caesar and his Senate must make right?
Metellus Cimber kneels before Caesar and asks for the unbanishment of his brother, Publius Cimber.
Your brother is banished by law. If you bow and beg and grovel for him, I will kick you like a mangy dog out of my way. You must know that Caesar does not make mistakes, nor will he be satisfied.
Brutus and Cassius also beg for Publius Cimber to be unbanished, but Caesar still refuses.
I am as steady as the northern star, which has no equal in the sky, of its true and immovable nature. I am firm that Cimber should be banished, and I am still firm to keep him that way.
Oh, Caesar.
Get away. Will you lift up Mount Olympus?
Great Caesar.
Can't you see that even Brutus's kneeling doesn't influence me?
My hands shall speak for me. Casca stabs Caesar, and the other conspirators follow, Brutus being the last.
E tu, Brute, then fall Caesar.
Caesar then dies. Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead. Run from here. Tell the news. Shout it on the streets. Brutus tells the conspirators that they have acted as friends to Caesar by shortening the time that he would have spent fearing death. Mark Antony's servant enters with a message.
If Brutus will promise that Antony may safely come to him and give an explanation why Caesar deserved to die, Mark Antony will not love Caesar who is dead, as well as Brutus who is alive, but he will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus. Through the hazards of this news, untie the government faithfully. This is what my master Antony says.
Tell him if he chooses to come here, he shall receive a satisfactory explanation, and, by my honor, leave here without being touched. Antony's servant leaves to go get Antony. I know that we can convince him to be our friend.
I hope so, and I still am afraid of him, and my misgivings are usually accurate.
Antony enters. But here comes Antony. Welcome, Antony.
O mighty Caesar, do you lie so low? Are all your conquest, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this small amount? I don't know, gentlemen, what your plans are. Who else might have this blood let? Who else is diseased? I beg you, if you have a grudge against me now, while your blood-stained hands sink in smoke, do what you want. If I live 1,000 years, I will not find myself as ready to die. No place will please me as much, no method of death, as next to Caesar and by you killed, the greatest man of all time.
Oh, Antony, do not beg us to kill you. Although right now we must seem bloody and cruel, you do not see our heart. They are pitiful. As far as you are concerned, our swords are harmless to you, Mark Antony. Our arms, strong in hate, and our hearts, full of brotherly feelings, welcome you with all kinds of love, good thoughts, and reverence. All the conspirators leave except for Antony, who looks down at Caesar's body.
Oh, forgive me, you bleeding piece of earth, for cooperating with these butcherers. You are the ruins of the noblest man who ever lived in all of history. Woe to the hand that sheds this expensive blood.
Antony predicts that destruction will follow Caesar's death, and that as long as his death remains unavenged, Caesar's spirit will continue to seek revenge and bring chaos to Rome. Brutus and Cassius go out to the pulpit where the people of Rome are demanding an explanation for the murder of Caesar. Brutus turned against Caesar, not because I cared for Caesar less, but because I cared for Rome more. Would you rather Caesar were living and you all die slaves, than that Caesar were dead and you all live as free men? Because Caesar was my dear friend, I weep for him. Because he was fortunate, I rejoice at his good fortune. Because he was valiant, I honor him. But because he was ambitious, I killed him. There are tears for his friendship, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Mark Antony enters with Caesar's body, and Brutus explains to the crowd that Antony didn't have any part in the conspiracy, but will have a place in the new commonwealth. With this I leave, that as I killed my best friend for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself when my country decides it needs my death. The crowd praises Brutus for his speech. Brutus leaves, and Antony goes up to the pulpit as he says that he is indebted to Brutus.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil things that men do live on after them. The good things are often buried with their bones. Let it be this way with Caesar. The noble Brutus has told you that Caesar was ambitious. If that were true, it was a terrible fault, and Caesar has paid for it terribly. Here, with the permission of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. I come to speak in Caesar's funeral. We have brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransom filled the government treasury. Did this seem ambitious in Caesar? Whenever the poor have cried, Caesar has wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all saw that the leprechaun, I offered him a kingly crown 3 times, which he refused 3 times. Was this ambition? But Brutus says he was ambitious, and surely he is an honorable man. I am speaking not to disprove what Brutus said, but I am here to say that what I do know. You all loved him once for good reasons. What reasons keep you from mourning for him now then? O judgment, you have run away to dumb animals, and men have lost their intelligence. Bear with me, my heart is in the coffin there of Caesar, and I must pause until it comes back to me.
Well, he makes sense. If you think about this correctly, Caesar has been treated very badly. Has he? I am afraid someone worse will come in his place. Did you notice what he said? He would not take the crown. If that is true, someone will pay dearly for it. There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
Only yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now he lies there, and no one will stoop as low as to pay him respect. Oh, gentlemen, if I wanted to stir up your heads and minds to mutiny and rage, I would be doing Brutus wrong, and Cassius wrong, who, you all know, are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. Instead, I choose to wrong the dead to wrong myself and you, rather than wronging such honorable men. But here's a document with Caesar's seal. I found it in his closet. It's his will. Let the public hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read, and they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds and drip their handkerchiefs in his sacred blood. Yes, beg a hair from him to remember him by, and when they are dying, mention it in their wills, bequeathing it as a valuable inheritance to their children.
The citizens begged to hear the will.
If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all recognize this toga? I remember the first time Caesar ever put it on. It was on a summer's evening in his tent. That day he overcame the Nervae. Look, in this place Cassius's dagger ran through. See what a hole the envious Casca made. Through this one the well-beloved Brutus stabbed. And as he pulled this cursed steel away, notice how the blood of Caesar followed it, as if it were rushing outside to find out if it was Brutus who so unkindly knocked or not. Because Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, O you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindness cut of all. Because when the noble Caesar saw him stab, ingratitude, stronger than Caesar's arms, totally defeated him. Then, with his mighty heart burst, and hiding his face in his toga, right at the bottom of Pompey's statue, which ran blood the whole time, great Caesar fell. Oh, what a fall that was, my countrymen. Then I and you and all of us fell down, with bloody treason grew over us. Now, you weep, and I can tell you that you feel the beginnings of pity. These are gracious drops, kind souls. What, do you weep when you look only at our Caesar's wounded clothing? Look at this. Here's his body, damaged as you see with traitors.
Oh, horrible sight. We will get revenge.
Good friends, sweet friends, do not let me stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. The men who have done this are honorable. Alas, I don't know what private concerns that they have made them to do it. They are wise and honorable, and no doubt will answer you with reasons. I do not come, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator like Brutus is, but as all of you know me, a plain, blunt man that loves my friend. And that is known very well by the men who publicly give me permission to speak of him, because I don't have intelligence or words or worthiness, action or voice, or the power of speech to stir up men's emotions. I only speak right on. I tell you what yourselves know. Show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor speechless mouths, and ask them to speak for me. But if I were Brutus, and Brutus were Antony, then there would be an Antony who would ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that would persuade the stones of Rome to rise in mutiny.
We'll burn the house of Brutus.
Why, friends, you don't know what you are leaving to do. How has Caesar deserved so much of your love? Alas, you don't know. Then I have to tell you. You have forgotten the will I told you about.
Let's stay and hear the will.
Here is the will. He gives to every Roman citizen 55 drachmas.
Most noble Caesar, we'll revenge his death.
In addition, he has left you all his paths, his private gardens, and newly planted orchards. On this side of the Tiber, he has left them to you, and to your heirs forever, common pleasures, to walk outside and enjoy yourselves. Here was a Caesar. When will another one come along?
Never. Come, away, away. We'll burn this body in the holy place, and with the burning pieces of wood burn the traitors' houses. Pick up the body. Pull down the benches, windows, anything.